Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the December 4th edition of the Carolina Weather Video here on this Friday. Of course, really the main focus of this video is going to be our storm system pulling through from late tonight through Saturday. I'll sort of lay out my ideas on this and getting a little better idea how I think things are going to unfold. Now, our system this morning is causing some snow in Texas. This is a look at the radar from a little after 5 o'clock this morning, and you have snow breaking out in a lot of Texas there in the western part of the state, and a lot of that is going to be developing deep down south into Texas today. More on that in just a moment. Also, you have some rain showers in lots of areas of Florida, and I think central and south Florida the next couple of days we'll have to deal with some strong to severe storms, as they're going to be on the warm side of this storm system. So let's go to the modeling. This is the 6Z run of the GFS. I think with the 6Z run today, the GFS finally got a clue again as to how this thing's going to unfold. And I really, frankly, like overall a lot of the aspects about how the 6Z GFS is handling things. So here we go. This is one this afternoon, and that is snow deep down south into Texas, and that snow will then be spreading northeast from there. It'll move through southern Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama and spread up into northwest Georgia as well. So this is the snow accumulation here through roughly, I guess, 10 o'clock tonight. And notice the snow really piling up there, southeastern Texas. And Houston, I mean, they could wind up, parts of Houston could get a 3, 4, 5-inch snowfall out of this. This is going to be a big deal for those folks. They don't see snow at all very often, and to get accumulating snow like that, pretty rare. So that's a neat weather event. And then that snow will spread through Louisiana into southern Mississippi, parts of central Alabama, and northwestern Georgia tonight. Now let's get out to what's going on with this storm system. This is a look at the 500 millibar chart. This is valid out Saturday evening, 7 o'clock in the evening. And this is the GFS first of all, and we're going to compare some of the different modeling here. This is the GFS. Let's compare that with the European. Now, and by the way, this is the 6Z run of the GFS. Compare that with the European. Very similar now. The NAM. This is actually the high resolution. And notice this is back to the previous run, the 0Z run, but it was really quite pronounced with this. It was probably the strongest of most of the modeling with handling that 500 millibar disturbance. Let's see, the Canadian. Pretty similar there to the European there and the GFS. So the Canadian looks pretty consistent, and that's the UK Met. So really all the major global models and the North American model, the NAM and the NAM WRF there, in pretty good agreement with how this system is going to unfold. And that leads to a little bit higher confidence as we go through this, but you're always dealing with a lot of variables when you're dealing with this type of storm system here in this part of the country. So let's go back to the GFS. Again, this is the 6Z run of the GFS, and this is valid 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So what we will see happen is we will see rain, a chilly rain, a light rain move in tonight after midnight, and maybe even more close to daybreak. And that rain will be with us into tomorrow. And as this blue line here, that is the 0 degree line up at 850 millibars. And those 850 millibar temperatures will be cooling throughout the day tomorrow. And that's going to, as we go through time, kick over the rain to some snow in some spots, mixing with some snow in other locations. Now, again, just to kind of hammer home the difference in the 6Z run of the GFS today compared to how things looked on the previous run, the 0Z run. This is the 850 millibar chart from the 6Z run. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And notice the thing to note here, again, this is the 6Z run, the run that I think is handling things better. Notice this 850 millibar low. This is the 850 millibar chart. Compare that to the previous run, and there is really no low there on the previous run. So I think the GFS is finally back to seeing things more clearly with this system, and finally the precip begins to pull out tomorrow afternoon. And in terms of snow accumulation, then this was actually now still the 0Z run of the GFS for the snow accumulation map. So this isn't necessarily what it's indicating with its latest run. But you see the highest snow total certainly with this system in the Carolinas are going to be in the mountains, and then up into the mountains of the Virginias as well. And even toward Richmond and Roanoke could see some snow out of this. Now, for our area, Let's talk about the Piedmont of North Carolina. I think rain moves in tonight. It'll be a chilly rain. Temperatures probably upper 30s to 40, 41 degrees when that rain moves in, and temps won't move much. In fact, they'll begin to fall in many spots as we get to midday and afternoon tomorrow. I think we'll see. We'll just say from Interstate 85 up Charlotte to Greensboro and the Triad, and then say Interstate 40 over toward the Triangle. From that corridor and points north and west, I think the rain will mix with and then probably change over to a period of snow before it ends tomorrow. And while I don't think we're seeing any major accumulations, I don't anticipate travel problems. There certainly could be a slushy inch or two on the elevated grassy surfaces and car tops, that type of thing. It doesn't look like a huge deal, but you have to remember, this is going to be the 5th of December. Anything we get out of this is just really a bonus. It's pretty rare for us to get any snow chances this early in the season. Not unheard of course, but it's not the most common time for us to get winter storms. But I do think still, again, I-85, Charlotte to the Triad, and I-40 over to Raleigh, points north and west of there, could see a slushy inch or two of accumulation, mainly on the grassy areas as we go through tomorrow. Then behind that system, it gets cold. Let's go back to the GFS here. This is a look at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. We'll drop into the 20s Sunday morning. So it looks like 40s for highs with sunshine Sunday. And now on Monday, the forecast gets a little more convoluted. I brought in a lot of clouds for Monday's forecast, but for this package, I've left Monday dry, but I can't rule out there being the chance of a couple showers there Monday. Tuesday, we're watching our next big system organize in the Plain States, and this one's going to be, it looks like a system that cuts up toward the Ohio Valley or the Great Lakes region. Looks like we'll be on the warm side of that. Some rain. Can't even rule out a couple thunderstorms somewhere across the southeast as that system pulls through Wednesday. But behind that, GFS and the Canadian agrees as well. Pretty good shot of cold air moves back in here for Thursday and Friday. And then as we look down the road at the pattern for the mid part of December, I think that idea that some of the modeling was throwing out of just blowtorch warmth across the central and eastern part of the country, I don't think that's correct. And in fact, I haven't changed my outlook for December at all, with some below average temperatures around the region when you look at the month as a whole. And I think as we go, this is a look here at the GFS all the way out at the 15th of December, Tuesday the 15th, and lots of cold air in the central and eastern part of the country. And it looks like still we're going to have that active storm track riding along the southern periphery there of that cold air dome. And the European, not in too much disagreement as well. Big ridge in western Canada, that's an undercutting pattern with that cold air. That shallow Arctic air will undercut this southwesterly flow, I would imagine, if this type of setup unfolds. So certainly I think still a lot of opportunities for some fun and games later on into December in a lot of places in the central and eastern U.S. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. And anytime, if you do happen to see some snow in your backyard over the weekend, send those pictures in, weather@news14.com. Love to see them. Have a great weekend and God bless.